So today I got a film in my room because both my brother and my husband are home and they're playing games, so they're talking and I don't want to have to interrupt my train of thought because it's easily broken. So first thing, before we get into my actual topic today, I just wanted to talk really quick about something that I just read about and heard about earlier today too. So I wanted to talk about fears and phobias really quick. So I kind of pride myself on not being afraid of very much in the world. I'm afraid of heights and I'm afraid of clowns. And you know, typically I don't really have to deal with those very much in my day-to-day life. I know a lot of people that are like afraid of, spiders, or, there are some people with phobias of dogs and stuff. Like, I can't even imagine going through my day-to-day life with having some sort of phobia like that. Just reacting to seeing a dog the same way that I react to seeing clowns, or being in high places. I can't even imagine going through life like that. So when I was reading about all the clown reports going on all over the United States, I'm like, it freaks me out. Like, as I was reading the article, because I started reading, I think it was on USA Today. It was an article about like just everything that they know so far about it, and it was literally just going through each state and all of the reports that have been happening, and it just seems like they're getting more and more violent, and they haven't caught, it seemed like after every report that it went through, it was like, no clowns were found, nothing, like, it freaks me out. So, yeah, I just never thought that I would have to deal with the things that I'm afraid of in like a daily thing. Like, I'm kind of afraid for the next couple of weeks because I honestly don't know how I will react if I see any of these clowns. I don't know. So, yeah, I'm gonna move on now so that I don't, have a panic attack. Alright, so, okay, so, today's topic, is going to be a book or books that I love, and I didn't want to go with, the obvious answer, because there are a lot of books and a lot of book series that I really love. Obviously, the first answer is gonna be, if you know me, it's gonna be Harry Potter. And if you don't know that, please refer to my tattoo. So I decided to go for something different because there are a lot of series that I really love. But I kind of I went through my bookshelf and I was trying to figure out which one I was going to pick for this, and I decided on, it was a tie. It was a tie between two series. One of them being The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I love that book. I haven't read I've only read the first one. I've only read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I haven't read The Restaurant at the End of the Universe. I haven't read anything past that yet. I have it on my audiobook. It's on my list. I have a horrible habit of, like, picking up a book and reading, like, halfway through it, or halfway through the series, and just stopping. I think it's because I don't like having a story ended. I feel like I go through, like, a depression. It doesn't happen just with books, either. Like, with shows. I have still not actually finished True Blood. I've rewatched the series, like, 2 or 3 times now, and I have still not seen, like, the last 20 minutes of the last episode. Because I don't want it to end, and I feel like I go through some sort of depression once I leave this fictional world. Because I'm kind of an escapist, if you haven't figured that out. So, the book, anyway, sorry, tangent. The books that won today are Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. And it's backwards, but whatever. I love these books. I read them when I was younger, not too young, just younger, and I absolutely adore them. They're funny in, like, a sort of dark way, which is fitting for me. It's just refreshing to have some sort of, like, a darker sense it's refreshing to have a darker sense of humor, I think. But I love it. It's, I love the way that, the author, constantly, he'll go off on tangents that seem to not have any connection whatsoever to the story, unless you, like, really dig into it. And, like, the further along you get into the story, the more hints that he gives you, and just, there's actually parts where, at the end of each book, he writes a letter to his editor, and it's usually some sort of clue as to the setting of where the next book is going to be. And when I was a kid reading these, I was reading them as they came out, and so I had a lot of fun trying to figure out, like, okay, this is where the story's going, you know, like, I love like, those kind of puzzle riddles type things. So I always really enjoyed them. And another thing that I loved about these books is that they don't have a happy ending. The main characters, they fight on, like, they go through hell. Like, it starts out, their parents are dead, their mansion is burned to the ground, and they have to go and live with some relative that they have no idea who the hell he is. And then it just gets worse from there. Like, everything that they go through, they have to overcome. And they have to learn to deal with it in their own way, and learn to stick together and figure it out. Like, even Sunny, who's a baby, puts in her effort. And I think that's why I loved it so much, is that when I was growing up, I was always tired of, you know, like, oh, okay, you read a book, the hero has a problem, and then they overcome it, and everyone lives happily ever after. Whereas with these books, that's not the case. they have brief glimmers of happiness in these terrible, terrible situations, and then something else hits them, and they have to learn to overcome it. And I think that really, it made me learn more from that. It helped reflect life a little better for me when I was a kid. 'Cause not everyone gets a happy ending. You just gotta learn to live with it and keep strong. Yeah. Inspiration. And I do have to say, again, I haven't read, again, with my habit of not finishing books, I haven't read, I think, the last 2 books in the series. I think it's the last 2. I could be wrong. It has been a couple years since I have read them. I did reread the first 2. Yes, the first 2 books, probably last year. But, and I have a couple more, on my audiobook list still. So I am, eventually, I'll get to it, and I will listen to the whole series. But, yeah, I think it's the last 2 books that I haven't read. And so, who knows? Maybe they do have a happy ending, and I just don't know about it yet. But that is my book series that I love. One of my book series that I love. There are many more. Anyone who really knows me knows that I love stories in any form. I love books, even though I'm horrible at reading, at reading through them the whole way. I love movies. I love shows. I love games that have a good story. Pretty much stories in any form I love and will eat up. Fictional stories. Not much into nonfiction. They tend to bore me. Again, escapist, not really into reality all that much. So, yeah, I think I'm done rambling today. So I will have another Halloween video out tomorrow, and I'll do another vlog 2 days from now. So see you then. Bye.